cases resolved today. Some of the cases may be arraigned if the defendant decides to enter a not guilty plea, but we have 4 prosecutors present on our Zoom conference who are willing to discuss with defense attorneys or defendants to see if they can get the matter resolved either through a plea or an alternative option. So when I call your name, please say you are present and we will take it from there. I had an add-on calendar, and that's the one I'm going to address first. Marcus Banks.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Who's here?
Javier Trejo representing Mr. Banks.
Okay, yes.
I've been in touch with Mr. Banks. He's in the process of logging in right now.
All right. And who's the prosecutor for that?
Your Honor, that would be Ms. Riley, and the video was sent to Mr. Trejo as well as available at the front desk. So we should be ready to proceed with the plea.
Okay, thank you. Oh, you have a plea to you have a negotiated plea today?
That's right.
Okay.
So I will send Mr. Trejo the paperwork. I believe I have not done that. Have I?
Please do so as soon as possible. That helps manage stuff together. Okay. So for pleas, we have position 1, and Gaynor Conteste. Mr. Edie. Yes.
Hi,
good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you? This is
Fine,
Mr.
thank
Lee.
you.
We have the paper. I don't think we received the paper. We received the offer last time in our discovery. So we're ready to move forward. We were willing to accept the offer that was given to us. We just need the paperwork.
All right. Who's the ASG for this matter?
That would also be mine, and I will send the paperwork.
Okay. All right, Mr. Edie, as soon as you get the paperwork, please make sure that it's filled out and sent back to Ms. Riley. Okay.
Will do.
And Amber, do you want to put your email in the chat? And my litigation manager will also place her email in the chat feature to everyone. If you need to send any documents to me or to the court, please, or you need to have it filed with the court, please send it to her. Amber Stallworth. Thank you. Jason Poirier, Corinne Mull. Ms. Mull, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. I understand that Mr. Henderson's going to present a null pros order.
You know, it's remarkable, and it just showed up in front of me. So yes, this is going to be a null pros of the charges regarding obstruction, cruelty in the 3rd degree, family violence, battery, and simple battery. All charges then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Mull, do you have anything else?
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, then order is signed, the matter is concluded. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Fabula Williams. Fabula Williams. All right, is that Mr. Williams trying to connect? I see. All right. Fabula Williams, please announce your presence once you have your audio good. And folks, if anyone is driving, I'm going to direct the host to remove you from the Zoom. So please make sure that you are parked in a safe location. And before I can proceed with your case. The main calendar, Gideon Abatu, not present. Tavia Arietta.
Here.
All right. And who's our, Ms. Arietta, do you have a defense attorney?
No.
Have you applied for the services of the Public Defender's Office?
No, not yet.
And would you like to?
Sure.
Oh, good. Mr. Haddad, how are we proceeding with that?
Your Honor, there's our secretary, Ms. Patrick, sent on the chat line, on the main chat line, an email address.
She may have to do so again.
And also a phone number. But she's on the Zoom call. Your Honor, she can repost it. And Judge, I apologize. I have 4 different calendars for this morning. on yours, the one that you're just reading right now, does it have a title? Because I
Is
don't.
the add-on calendar to Orca A. And then the other calendar is just a regular arraignment A.
I think I'm missing some pages, but I'll figure it out.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a defendant and you are not represented by an attorney, or you don't know if you are represented by an attorney, please look at the chat feature on your Zoom panel. The chat feature will either be displayed at the bottom of your screen with the word chat, or you can look at 3 dots at the bottom of your panel. Click on those dots. There will be a pull-down menu with the word chat in it. Open that particular feature and you will see a message from Alexis Patrick, who is with the Public Defender's Office. And in there, you will see information on how to reach out to the Public Defender's Office to get an application, which you can fill out and resubmit that back to the email so that the Public Defense Counsel can review your application and see if you qualify for their services. If you are a defendant, you have a right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford one, the Public Defender's Office will be glad to review your applications to see if you qualify, and they will be glad to represent you. Please make sure you do so as soon as possible. Otherwise, you might be here for a couple of hours while we wait for the public defense attorney to determine. The faster you get in the application, the faster we will get a response. Just to keep in mind also, if you're a defendant, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of your case, especially if you're not represented. Do not discuss the facts of your case on the Zoom conference, which is recorded and live streamed, and your statements could be used against you. Mr. Pabula Williams, is that you with the red cap? Pabula Williams. All right, Pabula Williams is not present. Going back, Ms. Arietta is applying for the PD's office.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Ms. Arietta, you are applying for the Public Defender's Office, is that correct?
Yes, I just sent the email.
All right, then please mute your screen until you get a response.
Okay.
Christina Balebe Raymond. Christina Balebe Raymond. Christina Balebe Raymond, not present. Jacqueline Bennett. Jacqueline Bennett. Jacqueline Bennett. Not present. Folks, if you have previously applied for a public defender's representation, I don't know if they have your application. So I would recommend that you resubmit your application today to the email address listed on the chat. Xavier Benton. Xavier Benton. Xavier Benton is present. Mr. Benton, do you have an attorney? Need to unmute your screen, sir. Unmute your screen.
Okay. No, ma'am, but I just got the paper through the email, however, and there's no way for me to e-verify to e-sign it. It's like you got to print the paper out regularly to sign it.
All right, put your phone number in the chat. Make sure your name is listed there. And Mr. Haddad, if you want to contact him, it seems like he submitted it, but he can't find it. All right, please mute your screen.
You heard me, Judge?
I heard you.
The way they sent it, it's like it's just a copy. Like you just copy and paste. There's no way for you to e-sign.
Mr. Benton, I don't know what are the restrictions or limitations of the device you're using. So put your number in the chat feature of your Zoom. So
I have an iPhone, so it shouldn't be nothing restricted about me doing that process. I know I had a problem with e-verify, e-signing, signing documents through my phone.
I'm going to put your phone number in the chat feature. For the public.
I did.
All right, and to whom did you send it?
You said put in the group chat. I put inside the group chat, inside the chat. To the chat that everyone is in.
Your phone number isn't listed.
404-857-9549.
404-857-9549.
9549.
95. 9549. Okay, thank you, Mr. Benton. Mr. Haddad, I hope you got that information, or Ms. Patrick. Mr. Benton's having problems filling out the application. All right, Mr. Benton, please hang on. Tyra Blackman, not present. Lucky Brook, not present. Nazir Brown, not present. Joshua Burke. Dylan Burrell. Folks, it's very important that I hear that you're present. So I've got a string of no-shows right now. So Latricia Coleman. Andrea Copening. Jason Davis. Jermaine Dade.
Judge Law, we're here today.
Miss Agasakisian, is that right?
Yes, Judge.
Miss Mary, how's that?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. And who's the prosecutor for that case? Miss Riley, Mr.
I believe that's mine, Judge.
All right. And have you had an opportunity to speak to Miss Mary, Mr. Henderson?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Mary, we're going to place you in a breakout room after the calendar call for you to discuss the matter with Mr. Henderson, okay?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Michelle Delk.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ms. Delk is present on the Zoom. I'm going to be representing her. I got her application late afternoon yesterday. I just need a few minutes to speak to, I'm assuming, Mr. Henderson before I can report back, and hopefully we can have a resolution, Judge.
All right. Mr. Henderson, is that good? Are
Yes.
you the one? Okay. So position 13. Thank you. Brandon Denton. No, present. Gary DeWitt. Jelena Dia, D-I-A-H. I see Miss Dia present, but no, can't hear you. It's very dark in your room and you're on mute.
I'm here
Okay,
I'm
good.
in my work truck.
Are you represented by an attorney?
No, I don't have an attorney. I just emailed the.
Okay, Miss Dia is applying for the public defender's office. Please mute. Thank you. Joseph Dietrich, D-Y-T-R-Y-C-H. I haven't seen a last name with no vowels, but I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Joseph Dietrich, D-Y-T-R-Y-C-H. No, not present. Justin Farrell, not present. Sharose Fontanet. Fredisha Gardner. Kimberly Graham. Joshua Gresham Hall. Tara Greer. Cardell Harris. Jaquise Marquez Hott. Charles Hayes. Charles Hayes. Mr. Hayes. Deamber Holmes. Deamber Holmes.
Present.
All right. Ms. Holmes, what's your defense status? Are you represented?
No, ma'am. I just emailed them. I'm waiting on them to respond to me back.
All right. I'm sorry,
Ma'am.
who said hello? Thank you,
Oh,
Ms. Holmes. You
Charles
may
Hayes.
mute your screen.
Charles Hayes.
Position number 28, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Charles.
Mr. Haddad. All right, I got you, Mr. Hayes. And Mr. Hayes, please unmute your screen. Are you represented by counsel?
No, and I am unmuted. I'm trying to get the video to show too. There you go.
Oh, there you go. And Mr. Hayes, have you applied for the public defender's office? Would you like to?
No, ma'am.
Are you represented by private counsel?
No.
All right. And who is the prosecutor for this case?
Your Honor, that would be fine.
All right. Mr. Hayes, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one could be appointed to represent you if you submit the proper application. However, if you would like to, you also have a right to a private attorney, but you should have hired one by now. Otherwise, you have a right to represent yourself, understanding that you are responsible for how the law legally impacts your particular case. I'm going to put you in a breakout room shortly with prosecutor Ms. Riley for you to discuss your case with her, keeping in mind that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of your case, your statements can and will be used against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. This is with Ms. Riley. Okay. Christopher Jacobs. Christopher Jacobs. All right. And Mr. Jacobs, Mr. Jacobs is in the courtroom. If you could, sir, are you represented by counsel?
Yes, I am.
What's your attorney's name?
Timothy.
Who?
Timothy.
And does Mr. McCaleb know about this hearing today?
I spoke with him.
I'm asking you whether he knows of this
He
hearing.
knows.
Okay, thank you. All right, do you have a phone?
Yes, I have.
Call out, go step outside and call him. Tell him we are waiting on him.
Okay.
Timothy McCaleb, are you on the Zoom? Okay. Mr. Jacobs. All right, and who's the prosecutor for this case? Mr. Jacobs, Christopher Jacobs?
That would be Ms. Riley, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Riley, we're going to hold to see if this attorney shows up. Okay.
Thank you.
Laquan Jeffers, Laquan Jeffers. Laquan Jeffers. Michael Johnson, Michael Johnson, Michael Johnson. Antoine Martin, Antoine Martin. Martin, not present. Adriana Shanice Martin, Adriana Martin. Joshua Maxwell, Gary McNair, Devontae Phillips, Grant Todd Powell, William Robinson, Alex Scott, Martavius Sims.
I'm here.
All right, Mr. Sims, have you got representation?
I sent the email this morning with my name and number on it.
All right. You might want to resubmit it to that email that is listed on the chat. All right. And we will wait to see what the response is from the Public Defender's Office.
Yeah, I sent it to
Cordelius, you got it?
the state court PD.
Yeah, that's the one.
I sent it in the email this morning.
All right, resubmit it again if you haven't heard from them.
I got to go to my email.
All right, please mute your screen. Cordelius Skelton, Cordelius Skelton, Cordelius Skelton. Diamond Slowly, Diamond Slowly. Daryl Smith,
Alex Scott is present. It's just my screen isn't coming up.
did I call for a Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
Position number
Alex
40,
Scott.
Judge. Position number 40.
Okay. Alex Travis Scott is present.
Yes, yes.
And what's your defense situation, Mr. Scott?
Oh, I have none.
Have you applied for the Public Defender's Office?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you look at the chat feature, there is a message from, did you just join?
No, I've been waiting.
Well, then you got the instruction, or were you in the
Right.
waiting room? Okay. Look at their chat feature. You will see the instructions for applying for the Public Defender's Office if you wish to be represented by them. Otherwise, you have a right to hire your own attorney or represent yourself.
No,
So what do you want to do?
I'll represent myself.
You want to represent yourself. All right. Who
Yes.
is the prosecutor for this case?
Your Honor, that would be Ms. Riley. And he is
All
a
right.
co-defendant with position 28.
That
Looks like Charles Hayes.
all right. So, and I gather Mr. Hayes is in the same apartment
Yes.
with,
Yes.
all right. So position 28 and position 40, they're both representing themselves and they both want to speak to Ms. Riley. All right.
Can I represent myself too? This is Xavier Benson.
I think that's what you indicated, that you wanted to speak to the prosecutor. Is that correct? Have you
No,
changed your
no,
mind,
ma'am.
Mr. Hayes?
No, you had told me to fill out the application. I wasn't able to fill out the application, but I rather represent myself.
All right, so
It's a hassle.
I
I
don't
don't
need
have
the
that.
commentary, Mr. Hayes. Mr. Hayes, you have a right to represent yourself. You have a right to hire an attorney and you have a right to apply for the Public Defender's Office to see if you qualify. Which option would you like to select?
You said Mr. Hayes. I've already.
Mr. Hayes, I'm saying Mr. Hayes.
Yes, Mr. Hayes. I've already spoken about mine.
I'm asking you.
Yes, I will represent myself. Yes.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Scott's representing himself, and both of you are going to be waiting until Ms. Riley is available to speak to you. You've already been advised about your right to remain silent. All right, Ms. Riley, you have both the defendants, Hayes and Scott, okay?
Thank you.
Position 40. Daryl Smith, position 44. Daryl Smith. Daryl Smith. Manoa Smith. Manoa Smith.
Yeah, all right here.
All right. Mr. Smith, have you applied for the Public Defender's Office?
Nah, I ain't do that yet.
And what would you like to do? Would you like to be represented by the Public Defender's Office, or would you like to hire a private?
I already represent myself.
You want to represent yourself. Ms. Riley, are you the prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
The state will be submitting a no pros for that case.
All right, position 45. All right, please send that to Ms. Stallworth. And Mr. Smith, the state has going to file a notice of intent to not prosecute. So this case is closed. You're free to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So I could leave right now?
You may leave. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Amir Thomas. Amir Thomas, position 46. Amir Thomas. Brittany Wade Smith. Brittany Porsche Wade Smith. Wen, first name O-U, and last name is Wen, W-E-N. Miss Wen,
Your Honor, I think she's on.
yeah. Miss Wen, you need to unmute your screen.
Yeah, we just muted. We just unmuted.
All right. And which one is Wen?
Hi.
All right. And Miss Wen, do you speak English?
No speak.
No speak. And what language do you speak? What language does she speak? Chinese,
Canton-
Korean, Cantonese?
Chinese.
Cantonese?
Yeah. My daughter can hear me.
Yes. Can you speak Mandarin?
Yeah.
Can she speak Mandarin and or Cantonese?
Yeah, she can
Yes.
speak both.
Both, okay. And I'm just going to address your daughter right now. What's your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Jenny.
Jenny. Jenny,
Yeah.
when?
Chong, C-H-E-U-N-G, yeah.
C-H-E-U-N-G?
Yeah.
C-H-E-U. And Ms. Chong, does your mom have an attorney? Does she have an attorney?
No, she doesn't.
All right. And would she like to apply for the public defender's office?
No, we will represent ourselves.
Okay. And Miss Riley, is that your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So Miss Riley, Denise Riley is on the Zoom and she is the prosecutor. She will be talking to both of you briefly to see how your matter may be resolved. Okay?
Okay,
Please mute your screen now. Thank you.
thank you.
Sanchez Williamson, Sanchez Williamson, Sanchez Williamson, and Quintavious Wyatt, Quintavious Wyatt. Wyatt? All right. Is there anyone whose name I did not call who's present today?
Your Honor,
Okay.
for clarification, I apologize. I believe position number 5, while you're questioning the two co-defendants, I think Mr. Benton started speaking, wanting to represent himself, I believe. I'm not really sure, Judge, but if the
That's
court wants to
fine. That's
inquire.
fine. I can inquire. Xavier Benton.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Where's your video?
I didn't get my name called.
All right, Mr. Lowe, I'll be with you shortly. Mr. Xavier Benton, are you choosing to represent yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, and is that Mr. Henderson's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Henderson, put that on your list also. Position 5, Benton wants to speak to you. All right, taking that off. All right. I have a Mr. Lowe, Andrea Lowe, L-O-W-E. All right.
Andre.
I don't have a Lowe on my calendar, sir. Do you have a case number?
Your Honor, if I may,
Your Honor,
there's an Orca C calendar.
Yes, Your
that's
Honor, a status
3
calendar.
pages long.
All
It
right, I probably didn't print that one. Okay, let me just pull that up.
I apologize, Your Honor.
No, that's okay.
Your Honor, would you like for me to email the calendar to you?
That would be great. Thank you. Otherwise, I
Okay.
was just going to pull it up right here.
Okay.
All right, let's see now. And Amber, if you get a chance to print out Orca C, and it looks like a D also. Thank you. All right, Mr. Commandria Lowe on position 1. You're present, okay? And who is the prosecutor for this case?
I'll talk to him, Your Honor. I see here we had previously talked about diversion
Okay.
about a year ago.
Oh, okay. Mr. Lowe, are you represented by counsel?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So, and would you like to apply for the public defender's office, or would you like to speak directly with the prosecutor?
I would like to speak to him directly myself.
Okay. All right. So that will be another case to speak to a prosecutor. Troy Bracy, Troy Bracy, Troy Bracy, Joseph Grady, Joseph Grady, Joseph Grady, Edward Bowe, B-A-U-G-H, Edward Bowe, Salim Shaw, Salim Shaw, and Demon Hagan.
Your Honor, that case needs to be transferred to the district attorney's office. I just need to know who to send the paperwork to.
Send it to Amber Stallworth.
Thank you. And that is also the announcement on the arraignment calendar for position 37.
Devontae Phillips, is that the one?
Yes, that would be a transfer as well, Your Honor.
All right, please send the paperwork to Ms. Stallworth. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes the Orca C calendar for 9 o'clock, and the only person present is Mr. Lowe, and he will be speaking to Mr. Henderson. I have another calendar, Orca D status calendar. Orca D, and I have 4 cases here. Marcus Banks. Marcus Banks.
Yes, Your
Marcus-
Honor, we're here. I'm on the phone with my client. He was just logged into the call. He was having issues with his audio, but I have him on speakerphone now.
Oh, yeah, I've got you on. Does he have 2 cases? 17?
No,
we
Your
were
Honor.
on. It's just
Okay.
the one, Your Honor.
That's odd. Okay, it's just, sorry, the calendar is mislabeled, so. The add-on? Yeah, that's the same one. Sorry. Then I've already called this particular calendar. Okay, so we're
Okay,
good.
thank you, Your Honor.
Sorry, it's lots of labels for these calendars. I'm trying. Okay,
Understood.
now I'm going to ask again, is there anyone on this Zoom conference whom I have not called? There is a gentleman with a red cap with a phone that says V60 Thin Q 5G. I don't know whether he's driving, but okay. All right. Mr. Henderson, Mr. Haddad, let us know as you get cases which are approved and whether you need to speak to either Ms. Riley or Mr. Henderson. Who is addressing the pleas that I have, which is going to be positions 1 and 2 on my add-on calendar with Mr. Trejo and with Ms. Mull. Mr. Edie, excuse me.
That would be Ms. Riley, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Henderson, why don't you go ahead and be placed in a breakout room? And who's going to be your first person on your list?
I have one ready. I mean, I represent one of the public defender cases, but there's a bunch of pro se as well. So whatever Mr. Henderson wishes to do.
Mr. Henderson, I'd prefer if you call the private attorney cases first or the ones which are represented first. And
Yes.
so I have, do I have any private attorneys who are waiting to speak to Mr. Henderson?
Judge.
All right, Miss Mary, right, okay. Will the host please place Mr. Henderson and Miss Mary in a breakout room? Mr. Jermaine Day, we can't hear you, you're on mute.
What number is that, Your Honor?
Miss Mary's case is, I think position 14, is that correct? Miss Mary, do you represent Jermaine Day?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, just hold Mr. Day, your attorney will be with you shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Position 14.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Riley?
Yes,
Are
sure.
we ready to proceed with the plea on Marcus Banks?
I believe Mr. Trejo was still speaking with Mr. Banks, but I'm ready. I've sent the offer and the paperwork to Mr.
All right.
Trejo.
Mr. Edie, are you ready to address your plea for Mr. Conteste, Miss Conteste? All right. Miss Mary, you're still waiting to be put in the breakout room?
I placed her in a breakout room. She hasn't joined the room.
Yeah, I went into the room and then realized that my client was still here and I didn't want to leave him.
Did you want to bring your client in to speak with Mr. Henderson?
It's not necessary. Just wanted to make sure there were no other discussions happening while I was in the breakout room. So I wanted to come back real quick.
Okay. No, I just instructed him that to wait until you have concluded your discussions.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right. So, Ms. Smith, if we can place Mr. Henderson and Miss Mary, M-A-R-I, in a breakout room, that would be excellent. That would be for position 14.
Judge, I'm trying to get there, but suddenly everything has frozen on my screen. I can't even see the court anymore. So I may have to reset something very quickly.
Okay.
And Your Honor, my phone had my connection had disconnected when you were talking to me. This is Xavier Benson.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you just said.
I said my phone when you were just speaking with me, my phone started to act up. This is Xavier Benson.
You know, my mother told me I should have majored in computer science. Should have listened to her. But I don't know what to tell you, sir. I am not phone or computer savvy. You may have to leave the Zoom and come back in. All right. All right, Miss Mary, I'm going to wait on Mr. Henderson to come back. Miss Riley,
Yes, sure.
we are still waiting for Mr. Edie or Mr. Trejo with their clients to confirm that they're ready to proceed with the plea. So, Miss Riley, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with position 28 and position 40, Mr. Hayes and Mr. Scott.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Smith, could you please place Ms. Denise Riley in a breakout room with position, I think it's one screen. I don't remember whether it says Hayes or it says Alex T. Scott. Mr. Edie, what's the status of your plea?
I'm actually going. I just printed out the paperwork and going through with it with my client now. It's 3 pages. I should be done in 5 minutes.
All right, no rush. Just Miss Riley is in a breakout right now, so I can just let me know when you're ready, okay?
No problem.
And Mr. Trejo is also discussing with his client. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I can only wait for the prosecutor to be ready to go in a breakout room with all of you, whether you're represented or whether you're representing yourself. I like to take this moment to remind the defendants that if you are representing yourself, if you choose to represent yourself, if you choose not to apply for the public defender's office and possibly be represented by them, and you choose instead to give up your right to counsel and represent yourself, that you are responsible for understanding how the law applies to the particular facts of your case, how it may impact any other outstanding cases you have against you, or whether how it may impact your particular status if you happen to be a permanent resident or a non-resident working in this country. So those legal responsibilities will be upon you. So when you go into a breakout room to discuss your case with the prosecutor, please keep this advice in mind. So while you're waiting for the prosecutor to be available, you might take this opportunity to research the law to see how it applies to your particular facts of case and how it may impact your situation. Okay, and also I've already advised you on your right to remain silent and not to incriminate yourself, so please keep that in mind as well. All right, and
excuse me, my name was called, but I wasn't in here yet.
What's your name? And I can't see you.
LaTrasia Coleman, hold on. I'm trying to start the video.
And the host, could you please advise if Mr. Henderson is back? Meanwhile, Ms. Gathia, are you available to speak to any of the cases that are waiting, those assigned to Ms. Riley or Mr. Henderson? Ms. Gathia? ASG Sarita Gatia? You're on mute.
Sorry, Your Honor. Okay. Let me ask Ms. Riley if there's a particular one that she wanted me to do for her.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. And if the host can advise if Mr. Henderson's in the waiting room, that would help.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
He is not in the waiting room.
All right. Latricia, do we know what her case number is?
Your Honor, I believe it's position number 11.
11. Thank you, sir. All right, Latricia Coleman is present. Okay, while we're waiting for Ms. Coleman to appear, the gentleman in the red hat, you're on a phone, you're in a truck or a car or something. Can you unmute your screen? He can't.
That's my client, Your Honor. That's Mr. Banks.
Oh, that's Mr. Banks. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Has he got audio?
Marcus, do you mind unmuting yourself? We were having some issues with hearing earlier, so I had him call in to my phone. I think we got him now, though.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yes. Are you driving or are you parked?
I'm parked. I'm in a car.
Okay, that's good. All right. Mr. Trejo, are we ready with the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm Miss Riley sent it to me. I'm finishing filling it out, and I'll be sending it back to her, so we can go ahead and enter the plea whenever
you're not
you're ready.
You're not ready yet. Okay. All right.
No, ma'am.
Mr. Banks, please let us know when you're ready. Okay. So the two pleas are not ready. Miss Riley, are there any cases that Miss Gathia can handle?
Yes, Your Honor, any of them that wanted to speak with myself. But I did speak with Mr. Hayes and Mr. Scott, and they wish to apply for the public defender's office.
Where are they? Are they still in the breakout room?
No, they did come back. I see them on the screen, but they're on mute and their video is not.
Yeah, they have us. We're on chat right now.
Yes.
All right. So Mr. Scott and Mr. Hayes, you want to apply for the public defender's office?
Yes, you do. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you see the chat, so go ahead and fill out the forms and send it out.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Positions 28 and 40, one of them has to be represented by conflict, so. All right.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, my next case is.
Go ahead.
Would be Christopher Jacobs, but we're holding for his attorney.
Okay, can you go into the breakout room and speak to Miss Wen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is your attorney on the way? Okay, well, let's hope he shows up. With the host, please place Wen, W-E-N, and Miss Riley in a breakout room. And Mr. Benton, I think he's waiting to speak to Mr. Henderson.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Benton, you wanted to represent yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can you start your video?
Oh, can I start my video? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second. I'm not too right now. Start.
Okay, good.
Ma'am.
Yeah, good. Ms. Kathia, would you be able to confer with Mr. Benton?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Will the host please place ASG Sarita Githea in a separate breakout room with Xavier Benton? I'm sorry, Miss Mary. I'm just trying to see where Mr. Henderson has, maybe he's just trying to reboot his computer. So,
I have all day.
oh, don't say that. You will be here all day. So, okay. All right, all our ASGs are in breakout rooms, and Mr. Trejo and Mr. Edie are still waiting to get back to us. Let's see.
Hi, this is the Treasure Coleman. My video got disconnected. I was telling you that my name was called, but I wasn't in the room.
All right, Ms. Coleman, eventually you'll need to get your video on. You probably have to leave the Zoom and then come back in and make sure you start video.
It's saying
on your
I cannot start the video because the host has disabled it.
Yes, because you were combing your hair. I'll place you back in the waiting room and bring you back in, okay?
Okay.
And Your Honor, I've just finished the plea paperwork and sent it to Miss Riley. So we're ready to enter the plea whenever the court is.
All right. All right, thank you. Ms. Coleman, did you want to represent yourself, or do you like to apply for the public defender's office?
Yes, apply for the public defender's office.
Have you done so?
No.
All right, look at the chat feature on the Zoom, and there's information there on how to contact the public defender's office to fill out the application, and then you can send it back. And once you're approved, we can proceed with your case. Have you looked at the chat feature?
I'm looking right now.
And Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Haddad?
I just want to point out to the court that Ms. Coleman is it's a co-defendant position number 2 who's also applied, but that may create a conflict unless the state, of course, I can
All right.
convince them to do something else. So I'll work on it.
All right, thank you. All right, the host can mute Ms. Coleman while she's applying for the public defender's office.
Judge Miss Edie.
All right.
All
Yes, Ms.
paperwork,
Edie.
all paperwork has been sent out, sent to Ms. Riley and sent over to Ms. Stallworth. So we're ready upon when you're ready. Well, obviously we have to have a pre-trial first just to confirm that everything is still set for with Ms. Riley, but all paperwork is done.
Yeah, Miss Riley is right now conferring with one case, so please hold.
No problem. I'll be here.
And Mr. Trejo, please also email your paperwork to Amber Stallworth. Her email's on the chat. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes, Ms. Smith?
Mr. Henderson is being admitted now.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Folks, if you are emailing anything to our litigation manager, Ms. Stallworth, please make sure that you have the documents attached to the email. Thank you. Mr. Henderson, welcome back, sir. How are you?
I'm great, Judge. Someone decided it'd be a good time to move my desktop at the courthouse and shut it down. So it kicked me out of the VPN.
That's quite all right. We're glad you're back. Ms. Smith, if we can place Mr. Henderson in a breakout room with Miss Mary, we'll try it again. August Sarkeesian?
Yes, Judge.
That's the best I've got so far. I've been practicing while I was on mute, so.
Thank you.
Hi, Your Honor. Hello.
I'm sorry, who's speaking? Yes, Mr. Sims?
I filled out the application, sent to my email and sent it back to the email
Okay.
for the
you have to
public
work-
defender.
They will review it and let you know. Thank you.
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Alexis Patrick. Mr. Sims, your application was received. I forwarded it to Mr. Hadid, so he's reviewing it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's gonna be all day.
Are you being represented by anybody? Hire an attorney? Did you go to the public defender's office? All right, Mr. Greer. What position was he? 25. 25? Please stand up, sir. Who's Mr. Greer? You can stand right there. What's your name? Who? What is your name? Are you who do you?
Come to see about my wife.
Tara Greer? Where is she?
Where she supposed to be coming to court today, but I'm not.
She didn't show up.
She didn't show up.
No, she didn't. If you want to step outside and call her and let her know that she needs to show up.
No, she already locked up.
All right, we'll check into that.
Yeah, she already locked up.
Where is she in jail?
Ma'am?
Where is she in jail?
I think we're in town.
Let me check on that.
And Your Honor, Ms. Riley is back. They said that Mr. Edie needs to speak with me.
Yeah. Mr. Edie?
Yes, it'd be every bit of 30 seconds.
All right, Ms. Smith, please place Ms. Riley and Mr. Edie in a breakout. And then Ms. Riley, we are ready to, after your conference, we're ready to move on to the two pleas.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Smith, please place Mr. Khalil Edie and Ms. Riley in a breakout room to confer. Is Mr. Henderson out? Okay. Yes, sir. It looks like Tara Greer is currently in jail. And I am going to reset her case. Why is she in jail? Oh. All right. Okay. So it looks like, sir, your Miss Greer has been arrested and booked in the Fulton County Jail.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and that is in Superior Court.
Yeah.
That is in Superior Court.
Wow.
She's got a felony case.
What happened?
You would need to go to the clerk's office, which is next door. Next door, the clerk's office, you'll see the big name, Superior Court Clerk's Office, under the name of Tina Robinson.
I need to go. I need to go.
Go out. Once you step outside, make a right turn, and then you'll see a big flight of steps, go up that one. That she's in Superior Court. She's not going to be in a courtroom.
She's not.
Nope. All right. And folks, for this particular case, Tara Greer, we're going to reset it to an SAP calendar. And that's going to be via Zoom. And let me see. Mr. Jordan, can we move it to next Thursday, February 17th? Okay. Position 25 is going to be moved to it's a good thing he showed up to let us know. Miss Riley, we're good to go?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We're going to address the two pleas that we have. Mark, first we're going to start with Marcus Banks. Mr. Banks, unmute your screen.
Okay, hold on, let me see. Can you hear me?
All right.
There you go.
All
All
right.
right. Well, it looks like you're not going to be sitting here all day, so we're ready to begin with your case. Case number 17 CR 006202G, State versus Marcus Banks, middle initial A, accused of DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, speeding, HOV lane violation, failure to maintain lane, improper or erratic lane change, and reckless driving. Incident date November 29, 2015. Mr. Banks, you are advised to remain silent about the facts of your case. Anything you say, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. Javier Trejo with the Rohan Law PC. Okay, Ms. Riley, you are going to be the ASG for this particular case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss, just to take a pause, Ms. Kathia, have you concluded your conference with Ms. I can't, with Mr. Benton?
Your Honor, I would like to defer to Mr. Henderson on this one, if that's okay.
That'll be fine then. Okay, we'll wait for Mr. Henderson to come in. All right. In the meantime, would you be able to speak to Mr. I don't have anyone else. I don't have any more pro se individuals, so please hold. Okay. So going back to Mr. Banks, is this a negotiated plea or non-negotiated?
It is negotiated, Your Honor.
All right. So for purposes of the plea, Mr. Banks, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you will provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Correct.
All right. Mr. Riley, what is the proposed offer?
Your Honor, it is a plea to one count of reckless driving. The other counts are to be null pros, and that is 12 months probation, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, a drug and alcohol evaluation in any treatment that is recommended, risk reduction, and the balance of the probation is suspended upon completion or early termination. And this is a guilty plea. The state would object to nolo.
Mr. Trejo?
Yes, Your Honor, that's exactly the plea that I've discussed with my client. I've also discussed with my client that that the plea would have to be a guilty plea rather than a nolo, and we accept that, and we're ready to move forward with the negotiated plea of guilty.
And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Banks, are you presently under the influence of any kind of medication or alcoholic beverages?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, correct.
Have you understood the terms of the plea offer as described to you by your attorney?
Yes.
And are you freely, voluntarily, and knowingly accepting the plea offer?
Yes, yes,
Are you satisfied with the representation of your attorney?
yes.
Right. And Mr. Banks, if you decide to plead guilty to one count of reckless driving, you would have to give up your constitutional right to go back to court, to have a trial before a judge or a jury, to confront your accuser, to have the assistance of counsel, to challenge the state's evidence, present your own defenses, examine witnesses, as well as have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Has your attorney explained to you the entry of this guilty plea and how it may impact any other cases you may have?
Yes, correct.
As well as how it may impact any particular residency status?
Yes, correct. You did.
And are you prepared to go forward with the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of reckless driving?
Guilty.
I'm sorry?
Guilty.
Thank you. Your sentence for one count of pleading guilty to reckless driving is going to be 12 months probation, during which time you will need to pay a $300 fine, complete 40 hours of voluntary community service, not with a church and not with a school, but any other nonprofit agency is acceptable. You would need to complete 1 alcohol and drug evaluation. And if treatment is required, you need to submit yourself to that treatment. You also need to complete 1 risk reduction program. While you are on active probation, you shall abstain from all illegal drugs and no alcoholic beverages. You may be subject to random screens by probation. Upon completion of the voluntary community service, the alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment, any risk reduction, and the payment of the fine, your probation shall terminate.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Trejo?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Riley, are you submitting the front cover sheet with this matter?
Your Honor, yes, but I believe, let's see. I'm not sure which cover sheet.
The one that's in front where he waives the right to a jury trial? And it's got your signature? Because we've got the disposition sheet.
Okay, Your Honor, yes, I will find that and send that, yes.
Okay. And all right, that concludes this case. Anything else, Mr. Trejo?
No, Your Honor. That concludes our business. May we be excused?
All right. Yes, Mr. Banks has to report to probation within 48 hours. So that means no later than next Tuesday.
So how do I report? Like where do I go? Like
The probation office is on Mitchell Street.
where is it? Mitchell Street, where is it?
I don't have probation online, so.
Do you have like a number for him or?
Oh, Mr. Trejo, did you submit a contact sheet information which we can send to probation?
No, Your Honor. I filled out the waiver.
Yeah, that's why I thought there was, yeah, there are a couple more sheets of paper that we need. There's a contact sheet that needs to be sent to probation. Ms. Riley, do you have the contact sheet information?
Ms. Stallworth just sent me some other documents here for me to fill out and send to her. It looks like another waiver sheet.
All right.
And yeah, it looks like another waiver of counsel and waiver of rights. Go on.
There's a contact sheet information where we can send to probation, and probation will then be able to reach out to him. But just Google Fulton County Probation Office on Mitchell Street. They're normally online, but I don't know why they're not here. Y'all can wait, Mr. Banks. I'm sure you've got all day to wait, so please wait. And as soon as we get the probation information, we'll put it in the chat to you. Okay, so don't leave the Zoom until you got the chat information. And Mr. Trejo and Mr. Edie, we will email you the contact sheet information as well, which you can fill out and just send it back to us. It's just information, contact information for them to get in touch with your client. All right, that is if it applies to Mr. Edie's client as well. All right, Mr. Trejo, that concludes your case. But Mr. Banks, please remain on the Zoom until we send you the probation information. All right.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll fill out any documents and send them to the court. Thank you, Your Honor.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Moving on to position number 2, Antagner, Conteste. Ms. Riley and Mr. Edie, have you had a chance to speak?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes, the state is ready.
Yes, defense is ready.
All right. And Ms.
The new paperwork that was just sent over, and it's the same thing. It looked like it's just the waiver of rights to counsel and things like that, and it's the same plea sheet.
Yeah, you will get something from Michael Jordan.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Moving on, Miss Conteste is there. She is. Okay. This is State versus Antagner Conteste. Is that correct?
Antigone Conteste, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Case number 08CR331802, in which Ms. Conteste was accused of reckless driving, DUI less safe, DUI per se, and operating a vehicle with no proper headlights. Alleged incident August 27, 2006. Ms. Conteste, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and you also have a right to an attorney. You're represented by Mr. Khalil Edie. In this particular plea hearing, I believe that Ms. Conteste will be pleading to one count of reckless driving, and will the state be entering a null pros with the other charges?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right.
Hey, Ms. Arrieta. Hi, this is Juan Haddad with the Public Defender's Office.
Mr. Haddad, you are on, not on mute over there. Okay. Ms. Conteste, for purposes of the plea, may I place you under oath?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Riley, what is the plea offer from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. There's a plea to one count of reckless driving, which is 12 months on probation, a $700 fine, a drug and alcohol evaluation, and any treatment that is recommended, risk reduction, and the balance of probation can be suspended upon completion. And this would be a guilty plea. The state would object to NOLA.
Mr. Edie?
Oh, that make sure I hear is on. Yes, that's my understanding. Under the facts and circumstances of this case, we think that is the most appropriate, and we would like the court to accept the recommendation as it is on fee.
And for purposes of pleading guilty to reckless driving, does your client stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Conteste, are you under the influence of any kind of medication or alcoholic beverages?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood the proceedings as they've transpired so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the representation of your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And has he explained the terms of the plea and how it may impact any other open cases or upon your residency status?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are prepared to go forward with the plea, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you decide to plead guilty to the one count of reckless driving with the other charges being dismissed, would you waive your constitutional right to have a trial before a judge or a jury, to confront your accuser, have the assistance of counsel to challenge the state's evidence, present your defenses, examine witnesses, as well as have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to one count of reckless driving?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Your sentence will be 12 months to be placed on probation. You will report to probation no later than next Tuesday, February 10th, 2022. And while you're on probation, you shall pay a $700 fine. You will complete one alcohol and drug evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment if required. You will also complete one risk reduction program. You will abstain from illegal drugs and alcoholic beverages while you're on probation. If all the conditions have been met, your probation will terminate. I will, as soon as we get the contact information, the address and contact number, we will send that to you in the chat. So please do not leave the Zoom conference till then. Mr. Edie, other than that, do you have any other matters to address?
No, I would be reaching out to Ms. Conteste to fill out the probation information for you, and I send it over to Ms. Stallworth.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes position number 2 as well. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Mr. Henderson, who were you in the courtroom with, in the breakout room with?
We were in on number 14.
Miss Mary?
Miss Mary, yes.
Okay, and what's the?
We conveyed an offer. I don't believe they're in a position to accept it. This is also tied to a civil case from the underlying facts in this case, so I can appreciate them not wishing to enter a plea at this time.
Okay, so has this case been arraigned? Miss Mary, have you all filed a waiver of arraignment?
I don't believe so. Sorry, my colleague was working on this and I just stepped in. Just one moment, please. No, there's no waiver of arraignment.
All right. I will arraign the case today and we will issue a scheduling order. This case will be assigned to a division judge for purposes of trial. All
Thank you.
right, your client's entering a not guilty plea.
Yes, Judge.
And do you waive a reading of the accusation?
Yes, Judge.
All right. This is case State versus Jermaine Wesley Day, case number 20 COB 000364. Mr. Day has been accused of criminal trespass and obstruction of a law enforcement officer from a June 14, 2020 incident. I'm not going to read the accusations per the waiver, but Mr. Day, you have been provided with a plea offer to which you have refused it. So your case will be scheduled for trial upon your entry of a not guilty plea. By entering a not guilty plea, the case will be scheduled for trial where the prosecution has the complete burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If the state does prevail, and at the time of trial, and if the state prevails, you could be convicted of one or more of these offenses, and you could be sentenced to up to a year in prison and or up to $1,000 fine for each convicted offense. Given this information, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, sir. Your case has been arraigned, and we will be submitting a scheduling order or a pretrial order in this case. Ms. Stallworth, you have the forms, yes? I can send you a copy of it. All right. And anything else, Ms. Mary?
No, Judge, thank you. May we be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Day.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Henderson, we are going to, I think one of the attorneys, Ms. Githia, said that you should speak to Mr. Benton, Xavier Benton.
Is he pro se, Your Honor?
Yes, he's pro se.
Okay.
Mr. Benton, are you still choosing to represent yourself?
Yes, ma'am, because on the case that you guys are I'm going up before, they are
I can't hear you, sir. Your Wi-Fi is not.
I can't hear.
Mr. Benton, we can't hear you. Your Wi-Fi is failing.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, the case that I'm going before you today, they already terminated the case. Defects already threw the case out. They called me within a week of the incident, and what you call her, whoever I spoke with, she told me that they was terminating the case and they was throwing the case out.
The only agency that can voluntarily dismiss the case would be the
Defects.
Solicitor General.
Defects told me that.
Well, you got wrong information. This is an active criminal case pending against you. Would you like to speak to the prosecutor, or would you like to apply for the public defender's office?
Could I ask you a question, Judge? Because I'm really not understanding, because of defects told me that they dropped all charges against me within a week of the incident happening, because they said it was an honest mistake. So,
Mr. Benton, I can only tell you this. This is an active criminal case against you. Defects is not the prosecuting agency. The Solicitor General's office of Fulton County is the prosecutor, and they have an active criminal case against you for reckless conduct. Now, if Defects wants to withdraw from the case, they can contact the solicitor. But I'm going to ask you, they can tell you all they want. This is an active case against you. Now, do you want to speak to the prosecutor? Mr. Henderson, or do you want to apply for the public defender's office? What would you like to do?
I'll speak with the prosecutor, because I'm not understanding. I'm really not understanding how it operates, because
I only know one language, and this is the English language I know, and I've already explained it to you. If you don't understand, Would you like the representation of the public defender's office and they can assist you? Or would you like to hire your own attorney? Or would you like to represent yourself?
I would like to represent myself.
All right. Ms. Smith, could you please place Mr. Benton and Mr. Henderson? Ms. McCutcheon, would you like to join the case?
Good morning, Your Honor. If Mr. Henderson is otherwise occupied, I can handle this. This is Mr. Benton's case, the reckless conduct.
Yes.
Number 5, yes.
Yes. All right. Ms. Smith, please place Ms. McCutcheon with Xavier Benton in a breakout room. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, and good morning. I apologize.
No problem. Good morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may borrow Mr. Henderson at some point as well, I have 2, potentially 3 cases to discuss with him.
Okay. Mr. Henderson will be placed in a breakout room with Defense Attorney Jawan Haddad, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Ms. Riley or Ms. Gathia, did y'all discuss the case with Ms. Wen?
Yes, Your Honor, and I did send Ms. Wynn the plea paperwork. And so, and I just need to send the cover sheet, but that should be a plea this morning, Your Honor.
Okay. Amber, do they have the
I had my, hello?
I'm sorry, who's speaking?
Hello, Judge.
Yes, Mr. Banks?
Hey, so we still waiting on the probation people to come on the line, or
Yep.
can I just
I'm just
Google the
waiting.
number?
You
Can
could.
I just Google? Can I
You
just
could.
Google the number?
You could. Just make sure you report by Tuesday.
Can I go?
Dependent. Send, put in your email in the chat feature, and we'll try to see if they can reach out to you.
And John, this is Javier Trejo. I stayed on the line just so I can listen on behalf of my client.
Yeah.
I'm about to scan the contact sheet. Miss
Okay.
Miss Stallworth just sent it to me, so I'll be scanning that to her shortly.
That's perfect. Then, Mr. Banks, you're free to go. Your attorney's on top of it. Thank you.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. He's good. He's good.
Ms. Riley, who would you like to address next?
Your Honor, I believe the only other case that's not with the Public Defender's Office is Ms. Nguyen.
All right. Yeah, I've got everyone else applying, and I'm still waiting on the outcome from the Public Defender's Office. Have you spoken to position 15, Mr. Dell? Excuse me, Miss Michelle Dell. Miss Delk, Michelle Delk.
I have, Your Honor, that she was applying for the Public Defender's Office.
Yeah, she is. All right. And Benton is talking to Ms. McCutcheon. Oh, I have Mr. Lowe. He's on the Orca add-on calendar. Kamandria Lowe. Would you be able to speak to him?
Your Honor, I believe Mr. Henderson was speaking with him. He had spoken with him previously. And so I do not have the, what their conversations.
Do you have a plea offer on the paper right now?
I believe they were discussing diversion.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can explain diversion to him again. Mr. Lowe, you can unmute your screen.
I'm here.
All right. Mr. Lowe, have you had a conversation with prosecutor, Mr. Don Henderson?
Yes, I think I did like a while back.
All right. I'm going to place you in a breakout room with Miss Riley. And to see, she's going to explain to you what the alternative pretrial diversion is, and you can consider it at that time. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Smith, please place Ms. Denise Riley and Mr. Lowe, L-O-W-E, in a breakout room, please.
Hello?
All right, so we are back with position number 5, State versus Xavier Benton. Announcement, Ms. McCutcheon?
Your Honor, the state attempted to explain the charge to Mr. Benton and to explain the recommendation. Mr. Benton indicates he does not want to accept a plea recommendation that would result or cause him to be placed on probation. So it's my understanding, Mr. Benton, you are pleading not guilty?
Yes, ma'am, Judge. Due to the fact of my reason I'm pleading not guilty because of I'm not a bad father. And
I'll need you to raise your right hand, sir, if you want. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of the case could end up with you incriminating yourself and can be used against you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, as Ms. McCutcheon has already explained to you, this is an active criminal case against you. Whatever decision, defects that made, that has no bearing on whether this case can move forward or not. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that part? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So apparently Ms. McCutcheon has made a plea offer, and if you decide that you do not want to accept it, I will arraign your case today, which means that you will be entering a not guilty plea. Your case will be scheduled for trial, and you would need to hire an attorney as soon as possible so that you can file all your necessary motions as well as seek discovery of the evidence in this case. And eventually you need to be prepared for trial. Do you want a jury? Do you want a trial?
Yes. No, ma'am. But is it any way we could solve this case without having to do a trial because of defects? I already recommended that I'm a good father, and it wasn't nothing out of the ordinary that happened. Because once I explained to them the situation, it was like, okay, fine. So if I could explain to you what happened that day, and we could possibly get this taken care of today without having me having to do a trial, that could be very, 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 much better. Because of if defects did their investigation, and I never had anything like this previous with my previous children. I'm a father of 9 children, 6 girls and 3 boys. The incident happened. I just worked with a 12-hour shift. I had just got my kids from out of me seeing my children in 2 years of me being out of prison. I was just only out of prison a couple of months. That specific time I got my children. So when I got my children, my 3-year-old, she had her mother told me and actually told the defense office that she should have told me that my daughter gets up at night and roam the house. Because if that was to my acknowledgement, I would have did the proper procedures that I had to do once defects got involved, and me having to pick the access locks on my doors. Because the defense got involved, I had to put locks on my doors, and I followed the proper protocol, and they said, okay, well, we're withdrawing from the case due to the fact that it was an honest mistake, and it wasn't reckless conduct because I didn't leave my children anywhere, and they wasn't unattended. I made sure I put my children to sleep after I bathed them. I laid all of my children down. Everybody knows if you got a little children tend to get up. And if I knew that it was a possibility for her to get up to unlock the door, I would have took the proper protocol by having her sleeping in the room with me. If that was brought to my attention from her mother. I haven't seen my children in 2 years. I had just was able to see my children, and only 2 of them only 2 of the kids pushed the chair to my door and unlocked the door for them to walk out the house. It wasn't like the door was unlocked or anything. It was I was asleep, and they was probably missing their mother. I told you I haven't seen my children in 2 years because I just did it. Before I did the year in prison, I didn't see my children for a whole year because of me and their mother to have a mutual understanding. And then when I finally got the mutual understanding with her, I was able to get them once I was home from prison. I was able to get my children. And she didn't tell me, well, I got cases with defects already because of Ashanti gets up out of sleep at night and she wanders the house. If that was brought to my attention, I would have did the proper protocol to make sure my daughter was secure and my son was secure and in a safe place. Then having them in a room with their siblings. They would have been in the room with me.
All right, I will construe this as a motion to dismiss the charge. Ms. McCutcheon, your response?
Your Honor, there has been no filed motion for the state to prepare. This is an arraignment where the defendant can plead not guilty or guilty. The defendant is charged with reckless conduct resulting from an incident that occurred in Fulton County where two children ages 2 and 3 years old were found wandering after 3:00 a.m. in the area of a apartment complex. And they were discovered by the reporting party who called for emergency assistance for the police to respond. The police were unable to obtain any information from the children as to their names and names of their parents, because as I indicated to the court, the children were 2 and 3 years of age. Finally, the defendant was identified as a male running towards the location where the police had the children detained. That is how the law enforcement officers were able to determine that the children were, in fact, the children of this defendant. The state stands by the position, Your Honor, that this is a case of reckless conduct for 2 and 3 year old children to be roaming around the neighborhood after 3 a.m. in the morning and identified or rather brought to safety by a reporting party in the community who observed them. I offered to the defendant 12 months probation and parenting class. The defendant refuses that, says he's not guilty. The state stands by the factual basis of its case, Judge, and there is no merit to the defendant's motion to dismiss this case.
Mr. Benton,
Why not?
anything else to add?
I'm not understanding when the reckless conduct, like when you doing it intentionally. It wasn't intentionally. I was asleep. It was an honest mistake. I left the door like anything. It wasn't like that. That's reckless conduct. It's doing it to from your acknowledgement. I wasn't. Once I find out my children was outside of the house, once I woke up at 5 and 6 to do my head count in the room to make sure the children was in the room, I panicked, I freaked out, and I ran outside. I was running around the whole neighborhood. Looking for my children. And once I seen, that the officer had my children, I ran up to him like, those are my kids. And the officer asked me what happened. I showed him. I called my manager and everything. I was like, I just worked a 12-hour shift.
Your Honor, I'm going to object if the defendant wants a trial, a bench trial, or a jury trial for the court. And I will state in my place, Your Honor, that I did read the statutory definition to the defendant of reckless conduct and explained to him the state's charges and the plea offer. If the defendant's pleading not guilty and he wants to offer a defense to the court, then we'd ask the court respectfully to set the case down for a bench trial or a jury trial.
All right. First of all, Mr. Benton, I do understand your position, and that's why I've construed it as a motion to dismiss the charge based on the response from the state and the pleadings that have been filed so far. The request is denied. So if you are still wish to enter a not guilty plea, please let me know at the present time so I can schedule your case for a trial. Are you planning to enter a not guilty plea?
Yes, ma'am, because I'm not guilty.
All right. Mr. Benton, in case 20 COV 000382, you've been accused of a misdemeanor offense of reckless conduct on September 5th, 2020. This is a misdemeanor charge. Would you like me to read the accusation, or do you waive a reading of the citation? Excuse me. Mr. Benton, do you want me to read the citation, or do you waive a reading of the citation? I don't know if Mr. Benton has left the screen.
Your Honor,
This case, yes,
I believe so. He disconnected.
all right. We will reset this case for a trial. If the state plans to file a formal accusation, please do so today.
Yes, Your
And,
Honor, the state will do that.
right, and the trial will be scheduled for March 4th, 2022 at 1 p.m.
Is this a bench trial, Your Honor?
This is a bench trial. I'll need that accusation on file.
I will do that. Your Honor, if I might inquire, are these bench trials going to be virtual or in-person proceedings?
For now, they're going to be virtual. He's left the screen, so I'm just going to put it down as virtual.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
And we'll send out notice. Oh, yeah, we're good. Thank you. So position 5 is reset for a bench trial on March 4th at 1 p.m. pending the submission of the state's accusation. All right, thank you. Amber, I don't need this because it goes for the paperwork. It has to be on the front sheet of that document. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Henderson, did you have anything to report with your conference with Mr. Haddad?
Yes, Your Honor, we have submitted to him a diversion form for position 15. And we will be submitting null process on number 2, number 11, and number 47. It's all one, that's one case, 3 different defendants.
2, 11, and
47.
47. Okay. All right. With if you just hold, please, with Miss Arietta and Miss Coleman, please appear on the screen.
Yes.
All right, Miss Tavia Arietta and Miss Latricia Coleman. The prosecution has decided to not pursue these cases, so the cases are now closed, and so you are both free to go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And let's move on to position 47. Brittany Wade Smith. I don't believe she had appeared, but if that matter was addressed, and the state is filing a null pros for position 47.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I needed to speak to my client, Ms. Delk, as far as the diversion, and I'll report back to the court momentarily, Judge.
All right. Ms. Delk, is she present? Yeah, she's right
She
there.
is, Judge. I'm going to call you in a second, ma'am.
All
Thank
right.
you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I discussed diversion with Mr. Lowe and sent the diversion referral form on his behalf to the coordinator, Ms. Ratana. And that's on the status calendar, Orca C, position 1.
All right, Mr. Lowe.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Commandre Lowe, you have spoken to Ms. Riley, and it appears that you have accepted their offer for pretrial diversion. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So pretrial diversion is an alternative to actually prosecuting the case. And if you comply with the conditions of the program, the case would be dismissed upon motion by the prosecution, is what I've understood it to be. So is that your understanding?
Yes, overstood.
All right. Have you received the paperwork to fill out and sign off on them?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And did you say, and Ms. Riley, did you give a, did you get the contact information from Mr. Lowe so that he can know where to go to report for complying with his conditions?
Well, Your Honor, I apologize. How it works is we have to send a referral form to the coordinator for the program, and she then replies with a letter to them up to when they're to report for orientation. and to actually sign them up.
Okay, so Mr. Lowe is going to be dealing with the coordinator. This case is not going to be reset, and hopefully he does comply with the conditions. And then what I'd like to see eventually is a dismissal order of this case. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Mr. Lowe, you have the responsibility of making sure that the coordinator does reach out to you and that you do get into the program. Because if not, it's eventually going to come back for trial.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Lowe?
No, no further questions.
All right. If you change your address or change your contact information, make sure the court is the first person you reach out to let us know. You would need to come to J150 to go ahead and fill out any new contact information. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're free to go. Thank you, Ms. Riley.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Conteste, if you want to put in your email address, or we're going to send the probation information to your attorney. Please contact your attorney. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is it okay for me to leave, Your Honor? Or?
Yes, yes, thank you. Just remember you have to report to probation by Tuesday. So hopefully Mr. Edie will send you the information by Monday. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Mr. Benton, if you unmute your screen, please.
Yeah.
All right. So just to Ms. McCutcheon, Mr. Benton has returned. All right, Mr. Benton, I believe I was in the middle of arraigning your case and unfortunately we lost connection. May I continue? I'm sorry, that's just as bad a connection. Mr. Benton? All right.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Benton, I was in the middle of arraigning your case. Are you ready for me to continue?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The state is going to file an accusation today, and your case will be scheduled for a bench trial upon your entry of a not guilty plea. Would you like me to read the citation, or would you like me to waive a reading of it? All right. And Mr. Benton, your audio is
what I'm being charged with.
Reckless
You can waive
conduct.
it, 'cause she just explained it to me.
Okay, so you are waiving a reading of the citation
Yes, ma'am.
All right, upon the filing of the accusation, the case will be scheduled for trial on March 4th, 2021. It will be a bench trial. You do have a right to a jury trial. If you are seeking a jury trial, I would need to reset you to the division judge for a jury trial. Would you like a bench trial before a judge, or would you like a jury trial? I don't understand your response. Mr. Benton, would you like a jury trial, or would you like a trial before a judge?
Let's see. I would have I would like a judge. A jury trial.
You want a jury trial before a jury panel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Ms. McCutcheon, I'm going to remove it from the March 4th calendar. Please file your accusation. And Mr. Benton, how do you plead? Now, if you decide to plead not guilty, the case is going to go to trial before a jury, at which time the state would have the complete burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If the state succeeds, you could be convicted and face a penalty of up to a year in prison and or up to $1,000 fine. How do you plead?
I'm not guilty.
All right. It'll be arraigned upon filing of the accusation today, and it will be further notice for trial.
Yes,
Mr. Benton, please make sure that we have your current address and contact information so that you may
You guys,
appear for trial.
that's how I got the paper.
And Judge, for the record, I would just say that if the defendant, if Mr. Benton wanted to plead no contest, then the state would not oppose that if he wanted to resolve the case today, but the state will be filing the accusation.
Mr. Benton, there's an offer if you want to plead no contest to the charge.
And so if I plead no contest, what would be the difference?
It cannot be used against you in a court of law in a subsequent proceeding.
Yeah, I plead no contest. Regardless, I'm not guilty of the charge anyway, so I'm not guilty.
No contest is an alternative plea where it's tantamount to a guilty plea, but essentially you are saying you don't have sufficient evidence or otherwise challenge the state's case. But you will be placed on probation, and I will consider the terms of the probation. I might even institute a non-reporting probation, which means that you're on probation, but other than your first visit, you don't have to report the rest of the time. This is something that you can consider if you want to enter a plea today.
Yeah, it's just I'm tired. I know this ain't.
All right. So please go ahead.
I've been doing good for 2 years. I ain't got.
All right. Mr. Benton, are you very far away from the courthouse?
Yes, ma'am. I'm at work right now. I've been sitting down for 4 hours. I'm at work right now.
All right. So come down to the courthouse. It's at 160 Prior Street so that you can get the paperwork to fill out if you want to do the plea today. I'll expect you here. I'll be here till 1 or 2 o'clock. So I'll expect you here anytime by then, and make sure you are here. It's at 160 Prior Street in courtroom G33.
Well, I get off at 5 o'clock.
No, I expect you here before 2 o'clock.
Okay, could you say it one more time, please?
I expect you here before 2 o'clock. Thank you. All right. So Mr. Benton is on his way. And Ms. McCutcheon, if you have the paperwork, you can email it to Mr. Benton or him. Otherwise, he can fill it out in the courtroom. All right. Mr. Henderson, anything to report?
No, Your Honor. Other than the ones we just worked out with the PD.
Judge, I do have one announcement.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, position number 15, Ms. Delk, she is still present on the Zoom. The state recommended the diversion program for her to take 4 anger management classes. She's okay with that. We've agreed. I am trying to email the paperwork back to Mr. Henderson. I signed it with her express permission, Judge. I left some things blank for Mr. Henderson, I think, to fill out. But other than that, we are in agreement as far as the diversion program where she has to take the 4 anger management classes.
All right. Can you all handle this matter without Ms. Delk being on the Zoom any further?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Haddad, you have her contact number and her email?
I do, Judge. And I am forwarding the paperwork right now to Mr. Henderson back.
Ms. Delk, can you hear me? All right, I have no audio, so I'm just going to let you know. Please make sure that we have good contact information for you. Office, and you qualify for pretrial diversion. I can't hear you, Ms. Delk, so please listen to me.
I'll contact her, Judge. No worries.
All right. She is free to go, but she needs to make sure she keeps up with the pretrial diversion program. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
You're free to go, Ms. Delk.
All right, Mr. Henderson, you don't have any matters. I have still a few more cases that are waiting for a response from the Public Defender's Office. And meanwhile, I have Miss Wen, Miss Wu, are you ready for your plea?
That's good.
Miss Wu Wen. All right. Mr. Haddad, any status on the
Judge.
following? Yes, Mr. Benton? All right. We're still waiting on position 18, 29, Miss Dia.
You hear me? Judge,
Yes, sir.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it down there before 2 o'clock because my bosses are already mad at me for being, I'm not been working for the last 5 hours.
I'm sorry, Mr. Benton, this case was already scheduled for today. I'm assuming that you took time off from work, so I really have no response except I'm expecting you in court. So please mute your screen. I'm done with your case. I'm only going to wait until you come down. All right, thank you. Mr. Haddad, we are waiting on the status of the applications for the Public Defender's Office. Position 18, DIA, D-I-A-H, 29, Holmes, I believe. Position 41, Sims, 28 and 40, Hayes and Scott, and position 47. Miss Brittany Wade, oh, that was Malcross, so that's
Malcross, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Honor, as to position number 41, Martavius Sims, he's still on the call. I need to speak to the prosecutor. I'm not sure who the prosecutor is, Judge. He does qualify. It's going to be our case, public defender case. As far as position number 28 and 40, who are co-defendants, we're still reviewing the application. If they both qualify, we're going to have to conflict out of one of them. And I'm not sure if we received anything on any paperwork from position number 18. Ms. Gant may have some additional announcements, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gant, any announcements on the remaining folks?
Yes, Your Honor. Position 29, Ms. D'Amber Holmes qualifies for PD services, and I would like to speak to prosecutor, please.
And that would be with Ms. Riley. All right, so Ms. Smith, please place Ms. Riley and Ms. Wanda Gant in a breakout room to address position 29. Would you like Ms. Holmes in the breakout room, Ms. Gant, at the present time?
No, Your Honor.
All
And
right.
Your Honor, I apologize. Before I go into the breakout room, position 41, Martavius Sims. I need to send the paperwork to Ms. Stallworth. It is charged as a felony. So we do not have jurisdiction of that, although the amount is a misdemeanor amount, but the only charge is a felony charge. So they would
Can you file an amended accusation today?
I can't file an amended accusation on the felony. That's the only charge.
Let me see what's going on.
It should be a criminal trespass.
That's what I'm thinking. And the charge was supposed to be criminal trespass causing damage to property. Let's see. This case has not been accused yet at all.
Well, the citation was filed.
Let me see. The narrative indicates, okay, so the officer cited it wrong. It seems to be scrivener's error. It says that in the incident report, the defendant allegedly admitted to damaging the tire. Mr. Sims was charged with damage to property in the second degree, less than $500, and given a copy of charges. If it was a felony, number one, he would have been arrested. And number two, this would be in Superior Court as an accusation. So it looks like this was, if you want to go ahead and file an accusation today and charge him accordingly, or we can dismiss this charge as incorrectly brought in. How would you like to proceed, Ms. Riley?
Your Honor, well, since there was damage to property, we have a victim. I will file an amended accusation if.
No, you just need to file an accusation. One has not been filed yet.
Okay.
All right, but so make sure it's done today. In the meantime, Mr. Sims is represented by Ms. Wanda Gant. So, excuse me, by Mr. Haddad, Haddad. So I'm going to let him speak to you or to Mr. Henderson about that. Ms. Gant, you're going to go into a breakout room with Ms. Riley regarding Ms. Holmes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Scott and Mr. Hayes, the Public Defender's Office is still reviewing your application. If you both qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office, then the Public Defense Attorney can only accept one of you, and the other one would have to be represented by a conflict counsel. By law, both of you cannot be represented by one attorney agency. Do you understand?
Ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
please get your screen. Thank you.
What's a conflict? Because it can.
So they look pretty friendly, so unfortunately.
Yes, you're right.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Your courtroom monitors may switch off for the 11:30. I've already opened that Zoom for 11:30, but we will continue on this platform.
Okay, do I need to reconnect?
No, just stay on this platform until we're done, and then yes, reconnect to the 11:30.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just down to waiting on Mr. Benton. And that would be position 5. Position 30, Mr. Jacobs, we're still waiting for his attorney, Mr. McCullough. And then the remainder cases are the ones with the PD's office. Oh, and Miss Wen. Miss Kathia, did you address the Wen case?
Your Honor, that was Miss Riley.
Miss Riley, oh. We'll just wait. Thank you.
Hi, I'm not sure which prosecutor is handling the position 28 and 40. I apologize, Judge. I didn't realize you're on the bench.
No, I'm here. I'm never leaving. So
Never, right?
Never. It's positions, believe they're Miss Riley.
Okay, I'll wait.
She's in a breakout room. Miss Kathia is present. Miss Kathia, would you be able to handle that matter? They're co-defendants, positions 28 and 40.
Did Miss Riley speak with them already, Your Honor?
I think she did. And they're back wanting a public defender, so.
Yeah, I don't have her notes on that.
I'll just wait to speak to Ms. Riley then, Judge.
Yeah, Your Honor, yes, we spoke to Ms. Riley already.
All right.
And
I'm not sure if this Zoom is going to close out, but just remain on it, and then because at 11:30 we have another one in about 9 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Henderson, do you have anything to report? Any conversations you've had?
No, Your Honor, I'm just working on the diversion form and a couple of null processes.
Okay.
And Your Honor, since you're obviously here and there's a representative from the state as well, position number 41, Martavius Sims, I think we got, I don't see, is that the Sims on there?
He should be. 41 is the gentleman iPhone. Is that Mr. Sims?
I'm here, Judge.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Are you representing him, sir?
If it's position number 41, Martavius Sims, yes, I am representing him. I just needed to speak to the prosecutor. Well,
right.
I think this is the amended accusation. I'm probably just going to ask for either a reset or a not guilty. I know the court just read the report. It was a citation. My client, for what it's worth, and says that it was not him. There's a video surveillance that will clear up one way or another if it was him or wasn't. It was kind of, so.
All right, let's see if we can clear that up today. I'd rather clear it up today than
right.
If it's something as simple as that. This is Martavius Sims, position 41. Oh, hang on.
The officer had interacted with the person. And
This case has not been accused yet.
that's correct.
All right, so. He does have another open case from March 2021.
And that one is him. He acknowledges it's his case. He's accused of battery on the criminal damage or criminal trespass, whatever it is, the slashing tire. He maintains that it was not him. So the officer clearly got it appears a driver's license of some sort, because that's how they filled out the citation. But
all right, well, the report indicates an eyewitness and an alleged admission.
Right.
So, I mean, y'all can decide what you want to do, but I'm going to let you speak to Miss Riley once she's available.
Sure. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Sims, you're represented by the public defense attorney. Please hold until they can contact you. Do not leave the Zoom. All right.
Okay.
And Mr. Haddad, you have his phone number?
Sorry, Judge. Yes, I do. I do have his phone number. I can find the unmute button.
Okay, thank you. All right, Miss Gant is in conference about position 29. And everyone else is waiting on. That's it. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cases left from the 9 o'clock. The rest of the cases, Mr. Henderson, are most of them are no shows. How does the prosecution want to proceed with these? With regards to a lot of them, they're not even been accused yet.
Well, Judge, we're proceeding. I guess I looked at all mine just to make sure beforehand if there were any in all process, and I made those announcements. So it'd be nice if they came to court, but it's hopes and wishes.
Are y'all planning to file accusations on them?
The ones that do require it, yes.
All right. I'm gonna have to make a decision as to whether to reset them for a show cause for dismissal or a bench warrant. That's the best I can do right now, because otherwise, I don't know why they're not here. It's I'm gonna go through a couple of them while we are waiting on Ms. Riley. Just gonna pick positions 7, 8, and 9.
I'm sorry, I'm getting back to my calendars.
It looks like notice was sent on the, we don't have an address. For Lucky Brook, who is residentially challenged. There's no address.
What's the number again, Judge? I'm sorry.
Position 7, Lucky Brook.
That'll be a null process.
Okay. Position 1, which is Gideon Abitur, theft by shoplifting. I have a Bell Glade Drive. This is a citation from 2020. I guess at the Walmart on Howler Road pursuant to citation. Are you all planning to accuse this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this one I'm going to reset to the March 4th show cause calendar. That's all I can do. I mean, if they don't respond, you'll have to decide whether you want to. I don't have a return to sender, so. Position 3, Raymond Bellaby. Theft by shoplifting. We have an address in Decatur. Citation was filed. There's no accusation. This is shoplifting. Opened a pack of cigarettes, $7.
I know. I'm now processing that.
Jacqueline Bennett, position 4.
Refuse to leave residence. Crack pipe, null process.
Position 6, Tyra Blackman. Simple assault and criminal trespass.
Yeah, we'll go forward with that.
All right, and has it been accused? I don't believe so.
No, I'm not gonna.
No, it's not. So this is to be accused and reset to March 4th show cause calendar. Position 7 has been null pros. Position 8, Nazir Brown.
That will be accused if it hasn't been.
Yes, I don't have a return to sender. So this is to be accused, reset to March 4th show cause. Position 9, Joshua Burke. This is discharge of a firearm.
That's a needs accusation.
This one was a return to sender. I've got a Parkland Drive location. No other cases.
I'm not dismissing a case that
No,
involves
understand.
a firearm.
Position 10, Dylan Burrell.
Needs an accusation.
Reset March 4. Position 12, Andrea Copening. All these cases have not been accused. So,
We'll mark that to accuse.
all right. Position 12 is to be accused. Reset March 4. And Jason Davis. Is currently incarcerated. So I'm going to reset this to the SAP calendar of, February 17th. Position 13, okay. Position 16, Mr. Denton is currently incarcerated. So his is going to be reset to the March 17th SAP calendar. And for these cases, Davis and Denton, Mr. Henderson, if your state still wants to pursue prosecution, please have them accused before the SAP calendar, please.
The SAP calendar on the 17th.
Yes. But 13 and 16, they just need to be accused if the state wants to pursue prosecution on the SAP calendar. Okay, then I have Gary DeWitt. Are we still on your cases, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Gary DeWitt, position 17. We had a return to sender, theft by taking. Let me see what's going on with Mr. DeWitt. Got apparently a loss of a cell phone with a victim, Adam Bales.
I will not process this case.
All right, thank you. All right, and then the remainder of cases, positions 19 onwards, are those your cases, sir?
How many are on this calendar, Judge? I'm sorry.
Oh, there are quite a few. There are quite a few no-shows. I just didn't know whether, shall I move forward? Shall I continue then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so position 19 is Joseph Dietrich.
That will be a null pros.
Okay. Position 20, Justin Farrell, marijuana and simple battery.
Accuse.
All right. I just want to make sure they're not in jail. So this is to be accused, reset to March 4th, that's position 20. Charose Fontanet is not accused, returned to sender. Simple battery, citation alleges physical bruises to one Joshua Maxwell.
We will file an accusation.
Okay. To be accused, reset to March 4th. We don't have a good address in that one, by the way. Okay, positions 22, 23, and 24. Oh, he has multiple cases too. Okay. 22.
22 is an off-cross.
Okay. 23, Kimberly Graham. That's the one that has been accused as a felony for some reason, has been cited as a felony.
And it's less than $500.
Yes.
Mom's window is what I have written down.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
File an accusation on that.
All right. It has to be corrected to the appropriate charge. March 4. Position 24, Joshua Gresham Hall. Theft of services.
That's no price.
Okay. I'm just going to take a pause right here. Ms. Riley, any word yet on Miss Wen?
Your Honor, Ms. Wen, I believe, has been sent the plea paperwork and has completed it. So we're just waiting on her. I'm not sure what happened.
All right, Ms. Smith, if you are still hosting this particular time slot, is Ms. Wen in the breakout room? I mean, not breakout, in the waiting room?
No, she didn't. She logged off and never logged back on.
All right. Ms. Riley, you may want to just contact them and say she needs to come back on in order to take the plea, or send her the 11:30 a.m. link. All right, moving on. Who is that, please?
Hi, this is Jelena Dyer. I had to log off from my other device, so I don't know if y'all seen my name.
No, your name isn't on the screen. You need to change your participant name. And that particular case, Mr. Haddad, are you representing her?
Your Honor, we have not received any paperwork.
Because I wasn't able to print it out and scan it back in. I don't have any way to get those papers right
All
away.
right.
I would have to.
Then come down to the courthouse at 160 Prior Street in courtroom G33 right now.
Well, I'm at work.
Please tell your employer, since this court session was already scheduled, you should have obtained time off from work.
Really?
All right. See you soon, Mr. Dyer. Otherwise, I'm issuing a bench warrant.
Miss Dyer, I'm all the way in Villarica.
I'll be here till 2 or 3 o'clock.
All right.
Thank you. 160 Prior Street, courtroom G33. I've got Miss Dyer as on the way.
So what am I on the way to fill out an application?
To respond to your case and to speak to the prosecutor, unless you want to represent yourself and speak to the prosecutor. What would you like to do?
I mean, I could just represent myself because I work and I have a lot of stuff going on. So.
All right, this is position number 18, Miss Dyer. Miss Riley, are you available to speak to her?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Smith, please place Miss Jelena Dyer. And Miss Dyer, you have to start your video, please.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Dyer, if you choose to waive your right to counsel, then you are responsible for understanding how the law impacts your particular case. We're going to put you in a breakout room to speak to Ms. Riley to see if you can resolve your matter. Otherwise, you have a right to seek a trial in your case. Ms. Smith, please place Ms. Denise Riley and Ms. Dyer in a breakout room. And if you can send a message to the 11:30 calendar, I'll be there shortly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Henderson, Ms. Gant, any announcement on position 29?
In 1 second, Judge.
I'll be right with you, Mr. Henderson. I'm sorry, I'm hopping among different cases. The Amber Homes, what's the response?
Yes, Your Honor, the state has recommended pretrial, a referral to pretrial diversion, and my client accepts. However, I received the PDF form to complete the diversion information, but I'm unable to submit that given my technology.
Ms. Gant, if you want to, can you email it to me? I'll, and if you want to email me what the class is, whatever you all agreed to. Thank you.
Okay, I will.
I'll fill it out and I'll email it back. Is it Ms. Riley that you were dealing with?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, just go ahead and email me the form and I'll fill it out myself.
Okay, thank you.
And I will give everyone a break for coffee and Powell bars also before we begin with 11:30. Okay. So, unless Mr. Haddad's got a bunch of Hershey's chocolate in front of him, then please come down and share it. Okay. All right. Ms. Gant, I'm going to make a note that this case is being reset for pretrial diversion. I'm going to assume that the PD is going to handle the matter and contact their client. Ms. Holmes, Amber Holmes. All right. Ms. Holmes, you're represented by the Public Defender's Office, and you're going to enter into the pretrial diversion program once fully accepted. Please make sure you complete the conditions, and then you will have a favorable outcome in your case. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have Ms. Gant's contact information. Please make sure you keep in touch with your attorney.
Thank you.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Sorry, Dawn, I'm back with you now. Sorry about that.
Okay.
All right, last one was position 26, Cardell Harris, charged with theft of lost or mislaid property based on a
No problem.
Okay. Jacquees Hart, position 27, accused of battery. I'm not accused, excuse me, cited for battery.
Needs an accusation 3-4, show cause.
Thank you. And looks like notice it's get out. Okay. Leaping forward to positions 31, 32, 31 through 39. These are all no-shows. 31 is Laquan Jeffers for simple battery.
I don't need an accusation and a show cause, Judge.
All right. Reset March 4th. Michael Johnson. Theft by shoplifting.
That's an all pros.
All right, sir. Antoine Martin, simple battery. Position 33.
Needs an accusation and show cause.
All right, sir. Adriana Martin. I don't know if they are cross defendants.
I believe they are, and that'll need a accusation and show cause.
All right, sir. Joshua Maxwell, simple battery, position 35.
Same announcement, Judge.
All right. And Gary McNair, theft by shoplifting.
That's an all pros, Judge.
All right, sir. 37 has been transferred to the DA's office. 38, Grant Powell, criminal trespass. Oh, so I'm so sorry. Grant Powell is incarcerated. This is going to be reset to the February 17th SAP, and an accusation has to be filed if the state wants to proceed with prosecution. Same announcement for position 39. William Robinson is presently incarcerated, and it's going to be reset to the February 17 SAP. Both of these cases are criminal trespass. Did the state want to null cross them or see them on the 17th?
This is 38 and 39, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Just give me 1 second. I'm reading quickly.
Okay.
Both null process.
All right. 38 and 39 are both null pros. Position 42, for Darius Skelton, cited for obstruction. How would the state like to proceed? And he is also incarcerated on another charge.
We would like to do an accusation.
All right. To be accused, reset to March. You'll file the accusation and we will see him on February 17th SAP calendar. Plus he's also detained at jail. Position 43, we have Diamond Slowly. I can honestly say I've not heard of that name before, but Diamond Slowly is 43, return to sender, misdemeanor terroristic threats.
We're gonna do an accusation on that.
All right. To be advised, to be accused, reset March 4th. And we had a return to sender on that one. So please take a note of that, Mr. Henderson. Daryl Smith, position 44.
Null pros.
Okay. Position 45 has been null pros. 46, simple battery upon a peace officer, Amir Thomas.
Will be accused.
All right. Should be March 4th. Position 47 has been null pros. Position 48, we are awaiting a plea. Position 49, Sanchez Williamson, marijuana possession less than an ounce.
Just 1 second, Judge. That is going to be a null pros.
All right. And the last but not least, Quintavious Wyatt, position 50. Loitering or prowling.
That'll be a null pros.
All right, sir. And I'm sorry, I fibbed. We still have that add-on calendar for add-on Orca A, the one where we address the pleas for Marcus Banks and Contested. Those two were pleas. Position 3, Poirier was null pros. Position 4, Kubula Williams did not appear. That was an Orca A.
Yeah, that we'll proceed on that, Judge.
All right. Just make sure that she's not. She's not incarcerated. So this is to be accused, reset to March 4th.
That's number 4.
Yes, number 4.
It should-
Kubula Williams.
It should be a, is this,
On the it was on
That's
the
a-
add-on. No, it's on the add-on. Add-on Orca A.
that's already accused, Judge.
Oh, yes, it is already accused. Okay, then we'll just reset it to March 4th for show cause. Okay. Sorry, moving on to Orca, the other add-on calendar, Orca C. Position 1, Commandria Lowe is going to pretrial diversion. Position 6, Hagan is transferred to the DA's office. So the remainder of the cases are all no-shows. So I'm going to start with Troy Bracey, position 2. Criminal trespass.
I'll call for diversion anyway, so let's just null process.
Joseph Grady, criminal trespass. The case was arraigned on January 28th, but no accusation has been filed. Discovery has been submitted.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, for criminal trespass, the citation, I believe at the time the officers were just giving the citations and those are actually filed as accusations.
I see. Okay, it doesn't say accusation, but if that's how the state's going to deem it to be. But in the meantime, what would we like to do for Grady?
It's like
The
we made
trespass
a,
from April 2020.
it's like we made a recommendation back on 9/28 of 20. I think they need to come back, Judge. They were in court previously on this.
I will reset this to March 4th for a final decision, whether we can pursue this matter at all. Position 4, Edward Bowe, battery. Edward Bowe. So this is a citation filed, an amended accusation was filed. It was reset to today's arraignment calendar and he's not shown up and the state's already filed discovery. March 4th for show cause.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Salim Shaw, position 5. Criminal trespass. It was a citation.
Pat or P, yeah, I'm in an all process.
Okay. Okay, that takes care of all the cases on all 3 calendars, with the exception of Miss Riley. What's your announcement on Miss Dia?
Ms. Dia has been referred to the pretrial diversion program, Your Honor. The coordinator will follow up with her as to whether or not she is accepted in the conditions.
All right. Pretrial diversion, and if she's not accepted or she doesn't accept the terms, please make sure she's put back on the calendar or that the state accuses it and puts it on our next Orca calendar, okay?
Okay.
All right. So position 18, Ms. Dia, is she here with us? Ms. Dia?
I'm here.
All right, Ms. Dia, please make sure that you comply with the conditions of the pretrial program if you are accepted. And if you complete it satisfactorily, your case will be dismissed. Do you understand?
Okay.
All right, you are free to go. Please make sure we always have a good address and contact information.
All right.
Ms. Gant has already announced on Ms. Holmes. Mr. Haddad, any response for Sims, Hayes, and Scott?
Well, I still need to speak to Ms. Riley, Judge.
Oh, Ms. Riley, if you could we go in a breakout room with Mr. Haddad for?
So I leave now?
You're free to go, Ms. Dia.
Okay. Sorry.
And Mr. Haddad is going to address positions 28, 40, and 41. All right, we've not heard from the Zoom. All right. Position 30. Let's go to position 30. Ms. Gathia, you're here. Ms. Anderson, good. Mr. Jacobs, if you could please come to this podium, sir. You're welcome. You're represented by attorney Timothy Michaela.
Yes.
He filed an entry, in other words, a notice that he's representing you on December 8th, 2020.
Okay.
He was sent notice of this court appearance, and clearly you are aware of it as well.
Yeah.
And today he sent me a note that he's in DeKalb County Superior Court, and he's asking for the case to be reset to next Friday.
Okay.
So I will see you here next Friday at 9 a.m. And please be sure that we will send you notice.
You're gonna send me a notice and
Yeah,
everything?
just like we did send you this one.
Okay, cool.
But just remember, next Friday, 9 a.m., same time, same place.
Yes.
Please contact your attorney if you want to appear via Zoom. So you can do this from the comfort of your home. If you are doing it from your workplace, please make sure you get time off because.
No, I can, but like I said, I mean, the only reason why I come in because I've seen calls dropping and stuff, and I just
Much more comfortable in person.
Me personally, that's how I am.
All right. I
But
don't blame
seriously,
you.
that way, no misunderstanding. We know what's going on.
All right, great.
All righty.
All right, just make sure your attorney shows up also.
I can try to make sure he gets here.
All right, sir. Thank you for being so patient. You're
All
free
right.
to go.
All right, thank you, Dad.
Thank you. Position 30 is reset to February 18. Orca calendar at 9 a.m. All right. Do I have a calendar for the 11:30, please? All right, and Amber, if you want to take a break. I think the only cases we are holding off on is positions 40, 28, 41, 40, 48, and 5. Yes, Mr. Haddad. Any announcement on position 47, excuse me, 41, Mr. Sims?
Yes, Your Honor. I at this point, Judge, we're just gonna enter our plea of not guilty. I think there's a surveillance tape, but anyway, I did get an opportunity to speak to Ms. Riley. I do have a contact number for Mr. Sims, and we're just gonna maintain a not guilty plea, Judge, at this point.
All right, I'm going to have the state file its accusation correcting the charge if they want to pursue it as a misdemeanor, because presently it's still cited as a felony charge. So I'm going to reset this to the March 4th show cause calendar as to how the state wants to proceed, given this information. All right. And also it's to be properly accused as a misdemeanor offense if they want to pursue it in state court.
And Your Honor, just for clarification, does the court, I'm assuming, wishes Mr. Sims to report back on the 4th of March?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Unless you find a reason for him not to bother showing up. Say, for example, if you decide, if the case is properly accused and the public defense attorney decides to file a waiver of arraignment, then he need not appear in court.
Okay.
And
All right,
especially if he's asking for a jury trial.
Thank you, Judge. I'll confer with my client and go from there, Judge. But I will, either myself or an attorney in my office will be there on the 4th of March.
All right. It needs to have the properly charged accusation. And if your client doesn't want to come here, then you need to file a waiver of arraignment.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, he needs to show up for arraignment.
Absolutely, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And may Mr. Sims be excused for the time being right now? Judge?
Yes, Mr. Sims, you may or may not have to show up on March 4th, 9 a.m. Please make sure you keep in touch with the Public Defender's Office. I think he understood. He's frozen right now. Okay. Until he reappears, what's the announcement for Mr. Hayes and Mr. Scott?
Your Honor, our office will represent both individuals. There's really, frankly, not a conflict. I spoke to Ms. Riley. We're going to maintain our not guilty plea. I think that case is, well, I'll just stop while I'm ahead, Judge. We're just not guilty.
Ms. Riley, does the state still wish to pursue a prosecution on this matter of two what appear to be extremely friendly gentlemen?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
All right. These cases have not been accused.
Your Honor, I believe they, the citations have been filed as accusations, but I will file amended accusations.
Why don't we do that? Right now, it just says citation filed. I don't have any documentation. I understand Ms. McCutcheon's point of view, but all I see is a arrest citation. I don't see any document that says that the solicitor's office has adopted the document and is formally accepting it as a accusation. So unless there's a standing order that says a citation filed shall be deemed as an accusation, you know, certain rights kick in.
Yes, Your Honor. There are certain offenses that can proceed on citation only. I cannot recall off the top of my head if reckless conduct is one of them. I know criminal trespass is, as well as marijuana possession, but I will do an amended accusation for them.
All right.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, are we talking about our case?
Yeah,
Yes.
hold on. Just
Marijuana?
good. No, it's something else. Just discussing legal
it's not-
stuff. Has nothing to do with your case.
All right, so I'm going to reset this to the March 4th show cause calendar as to whether we still want to proceed with this case. It's going to give the defendants adequate time to speak to the Public Defender's Office as to see how they want to proceed. If they want to demand a jury trial, then they can reappear on March 4th to be arraigned pending the filing of the accusation. Or if the defendants want to waive arraignment, then the Public Defender's Office can file the appropriate paperwork.
Thank you, Judge. And gentlemen, I'll speak to you both next week, okay?
All right, okay.
But Your Honor, may both of them be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Hayes and Mr. Scott, please, you are free to go, except make sure you may have to come back on March 4th after you have discussed the position, the posture of the case with Mr. Haddad. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care. Mr. Sims is gone. The only, Ms. Riley, Ms. Wen, any response?
No, Your Honor, I emailed her and I sent the 11:30 Zoom link. And I have not gotten a response from her.
All right, we're going to reset this to February 18th for a plea. All right, and Ms. Smith, we would need a Mandarin interpreter.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, for February 18th, this is reset for position 48. February 18th for plea, Mandarin interpreter. If you can either get a Mandarin or a Cantonese interpreter, they're two different Chinese dialects. Okay. So that only takes care of Mr. Benton, who is possibly going to enter a no contest plea to reckless conduct and accept the state's offer. We will find out by 3 o'clock. So that concludes our calendar for this one. Mr. Haddad, I'm going to switch over to 11:30. Mr. Henderson, but I'm going to just go in there and let them know we're taking a 10-minute break. Y'all, so everybody can grab some serious cappuccinos, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.